I'm tired of moving. I'm tired of moving. Now, I talked about yesterday about how like most people, a major reason why a lot of people join is because they want to travel. And I'm like, well, you can travel while you're civilian. You can travel in your free time, your weekend, your holidays, and especially, depending on your career field, there's some limitations on whether or not you're able to just up and go. Um, but yeah, I'm tired of moving. I started off my career at Lackland, just like most of you will or have already. Lackland to Keesler, Mississippi, from Keesler, Mississippi to Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland, right outside D.C. From Andrews to the Pentagon. Right before the Pentagon, actually, I deployed to Abu Dhabi. Came back, worked at the Pentagon. From the Pentagon, went to Clear Air Force Station, Alaska, it's a Space Force base. And from that base to my current base, Cannon Air Force Base, New Mexico. Um, I have tons of videos on Canon, so if you're interested in my take on that, definitely check those out. Um, I'm tired of moving. The catalyst of me just being over it, because obviously Andrews was one of the better bases. You're in DC. DC is an amazing city, amazing place to live, especially when you don't feel the economy. Like you're not dealing with the inflation. You don't feel the expense of things. Alaska, same thing. You don't feel the expense. Um, so, while having the Pentagon and Andrews and having a great deployment, relatively speaking, once I went to Alaska and I'm like, Brad, no, no. One winter in Alaska convinced me, bro, you cannot stay in this environment. No, if there's any chance in the world, if there's any probability that you could get restationed in Alaska, you need to get out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back to Alaska. At least during the winter. It's a beautiful state. I'm in the process of editing those vlogs currently. It's a beautiful place for a weekend, for a week. But if you go during the winter and you experience that darkness and the temperatures that just, it goes through the engine block of your car and says, I need you to freeze, good sir. It goes straight through your whatever you're wearing, through your skin, through your bones. The wind catches you lacking. It's different. I've never felt negative 47 before. Why are humans living up there? That experience alone, dealing with the lack of vitamin D, I should have been supplementing the entire time, even during summer just to prepare for winter. The darkness that you get 4 hours of sunlight at some points where it's just it looks like sunrise, but it never really gets beyond that, and then the sun goes right back down, and it's just dark. Dark. It's cold. Everything's frozen. It snows one or two good times, and the snow just freezes. It's not going to snow anymore after a certain point, and you're just stuck with that snow. The roads are clear. They're experts at clearing roads, but if you get caught lacking like I did, Chrysler 200 front wheel drive with all-purpose tires for the most part that are pretty well worn, trying to go up a hill and your car's just spinning, and you're like, bro, what are you doing? You need a truck. You need all. You need a Subaru. You need all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive up here. That experience, for one, told me I was unprepared to go to Alaska. I didn't do my research properly, and number two, I'm never going back to Alaska. Which told me, and while I was in Alaska, I took leave to Florida, and I'm telling you, it was just night and day. We landed in Dallas, and I'm like, bruh, there's Chick-fil-A down here, bruh. There's Chipotle. There's no Chipotle or Chick-fil-A in the state of Alaska, the largest state in the union by landmass. What? What? No Chipotle, no Chick fil A? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Unacceptable, mind you. Just how is that legal? Anyway, took leave, landed in Dallas, went to Houston, went to Austin, then went to Florida, went to Miami, Orlando. And I'm like, bro, I miss the East Coast. I miss the South. I miss the continental U.S. I miss the ocean. I miss warm weather. I miss sunlight. You just realize what you truly value. I like good weather, as do most people. But I'm not trying to move to Michigan. I'm not trying to move to New York. I'm not trying to move to Jersey. I want to be where the sun doth shine, where the heat inflames your skin and the oils that you're wearing, and the cologne, and the oud, it just, it emanates, and it's just, I want to feel sunlight. That's why these blinds are. I need the energy, the vibes. You understand? So with that, understanding that if I'm active duty, there's a chance that every couple of years I'm going to be living somewhere else, and it might be enjoyable. It could have been Spangalm, Germany. It could have been, Verano, Italy. It could have been anywhere. It could have got stationed in Greece. There's bases all over the place, especially if you're Air Force and you're finance. If you're in a support position, there's bases all over the place. There's 1D positions everywhere. Two D positions everywhere. Who knows? Who knows where we're, there's some beautiful locations that I don't know exist. However, there's also Thule, Greenland, the most northern base in the DoD. Not just in the Air Force, in the DoD, the most northern base. I'm not going. No. There's Clear Air Force Station, Alaska. There's Eielson Air Force Base, Alaska. You don't want to go there. No. There's Fort Greely, Alaska. That's even, actually, I think it's a little bit south of Eielson, but it's still next door. It's Army base. But no. No. Some of y'all have never felt cold. That you if there's any moisture on your face, it freezes on your face. Some of y'all have never felt that. I have pictures of my eyelids frozen. Frozen. Some of y'all have never felt cold like that. Darkness that never ends. Some of y'all have only experienced 12 hours of darkness, 8 hours of darkness. And most of the time you're asleep during that time. You're doing a road trip or you're driving at night, you might experience it, but imagine that all day long. Experiences like that immediately tell me, you need to get off active duty. If you want to choose where you want to live, if you want to experience certain things in regards to the region you live in or the place you live in, if you want to be near ocean all the time, you can't be active duty. It's just not how that works. Active duty, you're signing up to move wherever they send you at any time they send you, whether or not you're ready, whether or not you have a family, whether or not your family can go with you. If we're gonna send you over there, and we need you there tomorrow. Pack a bag. You probably should already had a go bag, but that's just how that works. And I'm not willing to do that anymore. I'm not willing to commit myself to moving every 2 minutes. I want roots, and I want roots where I want to live. And it's, for some people might call selfish. Oh, the Air Force the military is a calling. You're signing up to serve, and the troops. I can still do that in the Guard and Reserves. I can choose where I want to live in the Guard and Reserves. And so obviously that's what I plan on doing through the Palace Front process. But yeah, the active duty Air Force has taken a toll on your boy.